hopefully y'all can hear me okay. Because I forgot. I'm very behind tonight. I got distracted. So we're playing a little bit of catch up. But hi, welcome in everyone. Also, Melissa, there's a place in Providence, or I'm sorry, not in Providence, in Newport, I think, that does that. Like, meal and, I don't know that it's brunch, but I'm pretty sure you can do like a meal and drinks and stuff in like an igloo-like thing. So, I'll message you separately. But hi everyone, welcome in. Cypher, Leaf, Melissa, Tom. We're gonna be really low-key today, which is to say, I had grand plans and then I ended up behind. So we'll actually legit, get started in probably about 2 to 3 minutes because I need to actually go grab food. So real quick, agenda for tonight. We will first start with just chatting so I can eat. And I will also show off some of the things that I've been doing recently that some of you might have seen posted on the interwebs. And then we will actually get into sewing. We do have a project prepped and ready to go tonight. So, give me just a second. Hopefully the music is still coming through, maybe? Newport is too far. I thought it might be, but I was going to share it if you wanted it. It is a bit of a field trip, but yeah. Because for anybody who doesn't know, we're due to get snow tomorrow. Also, Leaf, I really appreciate that you put this in all caps. So I would swap this over to camera so that y'all can stare at Susie, but she's absolutely going to follow me the moment that I walk out of this room back to the kitchen. So I'm going to mute the mic for just a minute or two more so I can get everything set up, and we will be back shortly to actually begin. Alright, I'm going to first ask that you all not judge me too hard for my life choices. So let's switch scenes. I'm like legit. Just chatting. My scenes on Stream Deck are not in any particular good order. So, and I say don't judge me because I realized I needed different things than what I had, so I've thrown together the absolute worst. Not the worst, but like a kind of BS meal that I would normally not pair together, but it is what it is. So hi everyone. Let me know if the music is still really low, because I feel like I turned it up on my end, but I don't know how that translates to OBS. Well, hi everyone, welcome in. I'm now going to eat on stream. I'm sorry, but also not sorry. I decided I was hungry and then I hadn't planned it appropriately. It was very much a, music is good? Okay, great. That's the thing where I was like, you all won't judge me for eating on stream because I'll be feeding myself. There's a Susie staring very hard at me right now. Hello. Susie. Here, I will. There's the Susie. You've already been fed, so I don't know what you think is happening here. So Susie sighting to start off the actual on-camera stream. But she's trying her best, y'all. Yeah, I am. Well, first off, I got absolutely nothing done on Saturday, which was my free day. So that's on me. I didn't realize all the things I'm out of because I need to go grocery shopping. I didn't think I was that bad off. I'm not that bad off, but there are a couple of things that I didn't realize I was out of. And then yesterday was a full day of things. Prax, hi. I got something, in a second. Let me finish my thought because we'll get there. And then yesterday I spent the morning sewing because we made a thing. We made a thing. Let me turn the light a little bit, maybe better for you. And by we, I mean I made a thing yesterday to hold all of the markers and pins I've been buying. And then I went over to a friend's place to play Magic. And then we ended up being there for most of the night. I normally have a reminder set to leave in time to get home, cook, walk Susie, feed her, all of those things before the Mass Effect stream. But obviously that did not happen last night, or the stream didn't happen. We had to cancel for good reasons. And so I ended up staying later, and then that kind of skewed the whole thing. But Prax, for you, I finished reading Guardian, and it was very good. Yeah, if Susie was around when I made it, it's we made it. Yay, I'm glad. I know I meant to check in today, and then today's just gone sideways. So I'm glad. I was mildly concerned about if it gets bad enough. But, I'm glad. So I got to stay later playing, so rather than dipping out in the middle of a round of Magic, I got to finish that round before I called it a night. But yeah, I finished Guardian. It was very good. It's funny because one of the updates I have for you all, is, you won't be able to see it super well, but in the reading journal, what I ended up doing was I added the books that I had, that open space was I added the books that I had read with a variety of different stars, and then put in my, perceived star rating. I didn't do it, but then this whole page is just my writing that you can't see very well for Guardian. Okay, first off, I will say that I did not anticipate the plot twist until they started teeing up the plot twist there towards the later part of it. So very well done writing, because that is not the scenario I expected. Until they basically told us what was happening. They made the implication, I was like, oh, that's not the way I took it. And then I was very frustrated because we got to the end. And I'm like, cool, I need volume 2. And volume 2 is not available. Yet. So it was good to, but so I wanted to show that I had finished it. I'm getting a little bit better about like doing a full page thing. And then I filled in a little bit of stuff for the January wrap up. So, that's that. One of my little bits of show and tell. The other one is just more fun, and I'll switch camera views at one point so y'all can see it a little bit better. But my February spreads in my planner are looking pretty solid. And like they're different effort on different days. Or different levels of effort, but like that's coming together, so I'm excited about that. I had a comedy. So Guardian, really good. It was funny too, because when it opened, I was like, this is a choice. Are we supposed to be liking this intern? First off, the intern's the worst. And I wasn't, like, I had mixed feelings about them using him as, like, a POV at the beginning, because I was like, oh great, this wasn't the character we thought it was going to be. Cool, we can move on from him. But then he ended up being, like, a really good storytelling, mechanic throughout the rest of the book to give his perspective and things like that POV. So, it's interesting, because if you'd asked me as I was reading it, I was going through, like, many different emotions of Guardian. But then at the end of it, like, I read the last, 100 pages in, like, 2 hours in one night. I was like, I'll just read a little bit and then go to bed. 2 hours later, it is now the next day, but I finished the book. Do you know where that C-drama, like, who has it on streaming or something that I might be able to go find it? I remember you talking about it. But yes, so, working on books, exactly, Leaf, the lies we tell ourselves. Leaf and I are the worst because now we just send each other links to, various, stationery companies' YouTube channels and specific videos. So really, we're just caught in a circle of enabling. But yeah, so excitement because I finished that. Are you getting, some type of feedback through the mic, especially when I'm eating? Can you give me... Hold on. I moved OBS so I can't see. There's... I wonder... Okay, hold on. Please hold. I'm gonna turn off the mic in just a second. Tell me if it's still there when the mic is off. What about now? I think I fixed it. Hey Josh, welcome in. I don't know what it was. I was just unplugging and replugging things back in. Ooh. That was your chance, Susie. Susie's really bad at, like, she has no concept because what she does is she stares at you. So if you drop food, she doesn't see it because she's staring at you. So I have just dropped food, and she is not seeing it until I point it out to her. Because dogs. Oh no, this is like, it's really funny. It's the one aspect of being a dog that she's absolutely the worst at. Like, she'll scrounge and see if she can find stuff. But when there's like a human dropping food, oh no, she misses it every time. It's very funny to me. Because I've never not had a dog that wasn't basically a pet-sized vacuum, specifically for food. And she's just really bad. I think part of it is probably her sense of smell. She seems more like a sight dog, despite the fact that she thinks she can track via scent. But she's also just really oblivious. Like, she'll be staring right at me in the kitchen when I accidentally drop a piece of food, and she'll miss it. Because she's so focused on the human that she doesn't even register the bit of food that's fallen. So anyways, I'm glad that the audio is better. Sorry about that, y'all. Oh yeah, no. Susie's not. She goes by, like, sight and sound more than anything. The story I give for this, which is excessively funny to me, is, a few years ago, right after I got her, we had a snowstorm. And I had taken her out to go walk, in the evening. And there was enough snow on the ground that, like, we went through an area that hadn't been, it was kind of out of the way, so, like, the only tracks there were our own. So we sort of did an out and back and around and about. And at some point, she got very excited about something that she smelled. And was like, we're following this trail. Like, nose to the ground, walking as she went, all of that. And as we're walking, I'm looking around and going like, Susie, this is our own trail. We left it here about 5 minutes ago. But no, she had to follow it. So that kind of just reinforced to me that, like, smell is not her strongest, skill. In other comedic things, I have the bad habit of being on my Kindle and just browsing through and randomly buying a bunch of, like, light novels and manga. Just, like, anything that catches my fancy. Way easier when I don't have the books. Like, for me now, buying physical books is stuff I expect to keep most of the time. And so digital is more the, like, I'll try the first volume and see if I like it or not. And it's also where I buy all of my, like, glorious but also kind of trashy romance and stuff like that. I say trashy in that, like, it's just, they're all very formulaic. Especially when you get into, like, the light novels and mangas and stuff. I sort of attach myself to one trope and read an excessive amount of that at a time before I stumble upon the next one. So, like, for a period of time, I was anything that was the, you know, died, ended up in another world as a villain, or the villainess, I guess, because it's like crossover with romance. Only to realize that I'm living in basically a like otome game. Like, oh, I played this game back in the real world, and now I'm the villain in it, and I know all the paths. And it's usually like, knowing all of the flags and the paths for the different romance options from the game, how do I avoid, ending up as the villain who gets killed or, banished or whatever. I feel like they kind of coincided, where there was like a window of a whole bunch of those, releasing as anime and then also getting English translations. But so my point for all of this is, late last year I stumbled across one that I thought was like cute, magic, not the villainous trope, not the sin from another world and I'm the villainous, what have you. I moved on from that for now. But I forget how I think it's just like, because Kindle is like based on your reading, we recommend these things. So I'll go in and I'll look at the list and click on anything that's intriguing to me. And I came across one that's basically, I bought it to try it and then I was like, oh, this is cute. And I really resonate with the, it's like a girl whose older sister is perfect at everything. And she's like mediocre in comparison. But magic and politics and kind of old world, I don't want to say old world, but like magic, politics, kingdoms and things. So like, oh, there was a snafu and we need to make reparations. So you're like the next highest ranking woman in the country that's eligible, of age to be wed. So she gets sent off to the other kingdom to be wed. And it's like this very comedic. And the way that I didn't even read the whole title. But I read like the first, it's one of those like really, really long titles. But I read like the first couple of words and it was manga and was like, oh, okay, I'll give it a try. Like the description is intriguing. And of course, like I expected the scenario, but so I read the manga and there's only the one out, but they're like, oh, you can pre-order. It had like what else you can pre-order from this author. And it was the same title. So I was like, yes, pre-order. And it came out this month. Thinking it was volume 2 of the manga. Surprise! It was not. It was volume 1 of the light novel version. Now, I liked it because it was enjoyable to read and because of the nature of light novels tending to be longer. I've got like probably at least the next volume of the manga in the light novel story. But now I'm like, there's no release date for volume 2 of the manga, but there is a release date for volume 2 of the light novel, so I'm like, pre-order. Okay, so Apothecary Diaries, for anybody, so Apothecary Diaries, there's a manga, which is available both ebook, e-version and print. I've been buying it in print. There's a light novel. English translation, I believe, is currently only available as an ebook. And then there's an anime. And Apothecary Diaries is, like, weirdly addicting between the characters and the personalities and just a little bit of, like, off the wall. So it's set in, like, Imperial Dynasty era, and the main character you're following around is a young woman who is an apothecary, which is an unusual job for a woman of the time, especially a young girl who accidentally gets picked up, basically found out while she's scrounging for herbs and medicines and things, picked up by slavers who then sell her to the imperial palace as basically a maid to the harem. And so, like, it's this really comedic where she's like, I'm not involved. She's like, I just want to get in it. I guess, like, the way it works is, or the way in the logic of this, I don't know how, like, historically accurate it is. But the logic is that you basically work as for 2 years as a maid. as like I think the term they use in the book, if it's translated correctly, is like a flesh slave. So like you're a human, but you're a slave, but you're working as a maid, and you spend 2 years and then you're released from service in the palace. And she's like, cool. I won't draw attention to myself. I won't let anybody know what I can do. I won't let them know I can read and write. I'm just going to, work out my 2 years and then go on with my life. And ends up getting snapped up into a variety of, like, shenanigans. Right? I think it's one of those where it's like, it's so well told and the character personalities are so interesting. But it's also not like a traditional, like historical fiction. It's not a traditional, like, romance, manga, anime, whatever, in the way that you might expect it. So it's just like, it's one of those kind of, it sort of makes me think in the way that it's like off the well, but enjoyable storytelling, where some of those things are components in the background, but it's more about just like telling this really oddball story, sort of, with really, eccentric characters, is how I feel about One Punch Man. Like, yeah, the action sequences, but like the best part of One Punch Man is all the ridiculous things that happen and the character interactions. Lee. So, I have a Kindle Paperwhite, and I do like it. And it's great when I'm like in scenarios in like bright sunlight, you know, at the beach, what have you. I find it a little frustrating to read on for things like manga, just because the form factor is small, and that can sometimes be frustrating, especially because I like reading in like dark mode, generally speaking, and that doesn't always work well with mangas. But I like it. Largely speaking, I think the Kindle store and like the entire, for as much as you spend on it, the processing and stuff in it should be better. I don't think you need it if your iPad's working for what you want, unless you really want those, like, you know, it all in one place and the screen components of, if you buy like a Paperwhite or what have you, where it's like easier to read in bright sunlight and things. It's convenient, considering that Amazon keeps like reducing what you can do in other apps. So like, on the Kindle store, on the Kindle, I can buy books. You can no longer do that on the Kindle app on any mobile device or like iPad tablet, which I think is stupid. But as long as you don't mind going on to Amazon and making the purchase and, you know, sending it to your device or going and getting it. Oh, you watched Alchemy of Souls? I have watched that and completed it, and it was very good. I did watch it over a longer period of time than 2 days. I'm currently watching, like, if you don't mind like, there's some conveniences to it being all in one, which is more notable now because that's a semi-recent thing of them removing, you know, making purchases from the Kindle app. Which is just, it makes zero sense to me. It makes zero sense to me. But, Amazon's gonna Amazon. It's kind of like the way that Google keeps being like, well, you should just do everything in YouTube Music and YouTube. So we're gonna just keep, like, making all of our other apps useless. I'm very annoyed that Google Podcasts is going away. There's some decent anime. I'm so behind on everything because I'm trying to do too many things. I have too many hobbies, y'all. Too many. Here, if I give you a treat, will you Have another. Mini painting is less because I don't want to add it, more because I don't think I would enjoy that as much. Let me rephrase that. I did my tieflings in the other room with all the good doggos. I had to find someplace else to set them up for display because I had them out here by this, like on this table, and I kept knocking them over while I was doing stuff. So I did paint like, Leaf and I did the, like, intro to mini painting, during, at PAX Unplugged. And I know, like, you can paint bigger things like busts and larger scapes, but I don't think I enjoy that as much. I also did, I haven't posted a photo of it, and I haven't finished it completely. But I was gonna post a photo of the work in progress or show it to you all, is I took a little workshop for, like, building miniature things. So not miniatures like painting in Warhammer, but, like, this is a miniature sewing room, and it's tiny. Why are you crying at me? Susie has feelings, even though I don't think you all can hear it through the mic. You get that treat, Susie. So the good thing with finding my next hobby is I already have 2 lined up. Transparently. First, I bought a basic set of knitting needles, so that I can attempt at some point to try knitting. Yeah, like Dollhouse style miniatures. So it's a 1:24 scale, I think. 1/24th scale. So yeah, my friend, a friend of mine, who I also do sewing stuff, sewing classes with and things, is very into miniatures, like dollhouse miniatures, and she's done, like, greenhouses and a whole bunch of other, like, cute little things. Game room is the next one she wants to do, stuff like that. So she runs little workshops for them. You know, you get everything there, and you have 3 hours to hang out together and put it together. And we all got very distracted by multiple things. Susie, wow. And did not finish our sewing rooms. So my thing with it is it actually reminds me a lot of trying mini painting, which is that there are components of it I enjoy, but as a whole, it's not something where I go, oh, I want to start doing this regularly. Because like putting the furniture together, putting the room, like it's a floor with 2 walls to create, so you can put up, like, shelves and things like that. Like, that was enjoyable. But there were a couple of, like, very, very tiny detail things where I was like, I don't like this. So it's very much like miniature painting, where if I was like, why is this so uneven? It's because not all of the legs are at the same height. Miniature painting was, as a whole, it was a neat thing to do, but it's not something that I would do on my own. But I would be willing to sit down with friends if we were all going to sit together and, like, you know, paint. I would paint one then. So similarly for my friend who ran this workshop, I was like, hey, if you did another one, like one day you did a small greenhouse. The greenhouse she did was freaking, relatively speaking, large. It was a large greenhouse with a lot of tiny things in it. I'm like, I don't want to do that, but if you want to do something again at the sewing room scale that's a greenhouse, I would sign up, because I would do it primarily in the class, and then I would just have probably finishing touches and things. So I was like, I enjoyed it, it was all clear, like, you set it up really well, you ran it well. I just, in the process of doing it, is like, this is not a hobby I would pick up on my own, but that I would do with other people. But in terms of the things I do have, I already have stuff to try, materials here for embroidery. I already have materials here, for knitting. So those are kind of on my list of things to start and try. So having said all of that, we're going to do a real quick, couple of things. First, because I want to, we're going to, yeah, that's exactly it. It's a once in a while hobby. So let me put my keyboard back, because I don't think we're going to need it. And I'm going to put my mouse back, because we're hopefully not going to need that. trying to figure out how I can, like, angle this camera, or this light a little bit better. And then we're gonna swap over for a second. Put a couple things out of the way. And we'll do a little bit of show and tell, and then we will actually try to sew something. Emphasis on try. The issue here is I have multiple things in the way. But I want to move because of where so I did run into a comedy as I was sewing the bag I'm going to show you all here, which is that swapping over, let me swap. Okay, I do actually need my mouse for this. I'm going to switch the cameras real quick. Haha. And then haha. Right, swap them. Perfect. When I was sewing this, it was big enough that the stand and the Leacher Beam light were in the way. So I had to move everything, which meant if I moved the light, this is the basic light here. If I moved the light, I had to move the boom arm for the camera. I actually wish I kind of want one that's like 3 pieces instead of 2, because I need a little bit more range, of where I could put it. So anyways, so we made this nice little, I've not actually measured this. It is about, let's take a look. It's like 8 inches by, I don't know, 5.5, 6. And it's about 4 inches tall. As you all can see, it has clear vinyl at the top. It has a solid opaque vinyl at the bottom. We have our nice little box corners. If you look real close, you might notice this little tab here is not quite the same color as the rest of the blue vinyl, and that's because I put it in backwards. This is actually the underside of the vinyl that you're not supposed to see. The correct blue vinyl is on the inside. Let me switch this over. Well, no, we'll leave it at show and tell for the moment. I'll switch this over to makers and crafting once we actually start making. I have a standard zipper on the top, and then to give you all a little bit of context here, I have about 40 markers in here right now. And it would probably only be about half full. I might want it to be like a ½ inch longer. Yeah, like an Easter egg. But I found this tutorial. I'm happy to link it if anybody is interested on YouTube. I had in my possession already both of these vinyls. We bought the light blue from my local fabric shop. It was like a remnant, and it cost me like $4 to buy, I think, 5/8 to 3/4 of a yard. And this is only, I think all of these pieces were like 9 by 12 maybe to start. Same with this Ghibli clear vinyl was one that I bought on clearance from Soulful Therapy. So I already had it. These were materials, and I still have plenty of them, that I wanted to try doing some bag making, like purses, backpacks. I have a very specific convertible bag that I've been staring at the pattern on Etsy for a while that I might finally break down and buy. But so I was kind of going through this comedy of going, oh, I keep buying all these journaling supplies and I have nowhere to put them, storage or anything, and I didn't really want to buy something new for it. So I was digging through watching stuff on YouTube, especially like bag tutorials, and was like, why don't I try making something vinyl? Or making something with the vinyl I already have. So all in all, this entire thing, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, wait, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces total. And if we count the time it took me to cut all of them, it probably took me about 2 hours to make. if that. So yeah, we made this. So this was, I cut it Saturday night. So I did do this on Saturday. I did a whole lot, not else. But I did do this on Saturday, and then I cut it Saturday night, and then I sewed it. It took me about an hour and a half-ish, yesterday morning. Probably took longer than it needed to because I had to keep cross-referencing, the instructions for the video with the instructions. Being like, oh, what did you want me to do here? But yeah, I'm happy with it. I think, obviously, I'd want the tabs to not be incorrect. I would want them to be the right side out. So I wasn't thinking, and I folded them right sides together instead of wrong sides together. So they're stitched in, they're at the correct place in the project. Like, they are where they're supposed to be. They're just the wrong side of the fabric facing out. So that's a little embarrassing, but if I don't tell anybody, you probably wouldn't know. And then, but overall, like, I would make this again. I would love to potentially pick up some additional fabrics to try making another one of these, because, like, maybe I'll make something to store my washi in. But yeah, it didn't take a ton of material and didn't take a lot of time. And of course, the more you do it, the more efficient you get. I think the only thing that takes a little getting used to is just, I was like, it's so large. And then you have to actually, like, physically, put in. You thought it was that way on purpose, right? It was very comedic to me that I was like, I was all done and I turned down. I'm like, look at how good it looks. And then I looked at those tabs and was like, oh, I put them in wrong. They're backwards. So yeah, if I don't tell anybody, they won't know. But it is like a very comedic. I got everything else mostly right. My stitch lines were not particularly straight, but it turned out well. And then the other thing too is this is the first time I've worked with vinyl. So I had a lot of fun adjusting things on my machine. You have to kind of adjust your stitch length, your tension. I had a non-stick sewing foot, on to work with it, and it all turned out great. So we made this. So you know what we're going to be making tonight? We're going to be making another zippered pouch, but a different one. College style choice. No, luckily this is not homework for, class. Our first class for this zippered vest was just cutting fabric, and I got all of mine done during class, so we will not have to do any homework this week, but we will start sewing on Thursday, so I might have homework for next week. Real quick, just for fun, I'm going to show you all, it might look a little better in, not this book, with the top-down view instead. But as mentioned, if we go back, I went back and I wrote out, or I added to my book, print versus ebooks for numbers sold read, and then ended up filling the space with my star ratings for the various things that I read in January. And then I did because I was thinking about it and I did a better job of it, I put, I didn't fully annotate Guardian, but I did, throw a couple of, sticky notes and things in. So I had some favorite quotes, and put my thoughts in, so it actually ended up being a full page. So that's reading journal, slight update. And then, just for fun, showing you all, let's go. For February, because I don't think we got through the full setup, I put in my February goals. Completing books, finishing games, which we've already done, completing projects, so we're gonna knock that out. A couple other things, like figuring out the Dremel. But I have a mix of some more and some less in terms of my spreads for my, daily notes. It's a planner, and I do use it as a planner. Yeah, here we go. Brain Squirrel on February 3rd, vinyl pouch for markers, which you may or may not be able to read. But having a little more, it's like half planner, half journal. So I kind of write down my thoughts at the end of the day, put in anything that happened. So my little note here for Vinba was that it was very good. It got emotional, what have you. Making use. I don't know how well you all can see these because, these were some of the flowery, from the flowery washi tape that I got. So not all of these work as well. I'm still kind of like learning how to do more decorative journaling. But I'm trying out different things, and that's helping me put a variety of, I'm learning a little bit of how to use the different types of washi tape and stickers and, the markers and colors and stuff as the days go on. So February is looking too bad. The flower washi tape is really nice. I need to use more of it. So I'm still kind of figuring out like different ways to use all of that. But yeah, so that's a minor update because I wanted to do show and tell. So we're going to use move our markers and all of our stuff out of the way. And then we are going to, the corners I cut off from the fabric because it's, inside out when you're putting it all together. So it's, listen, we do stuff here. Surprise. So now I want to buy a whole bunch more vinyl despite the fact that I don't have a bunch of projects ready to go. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. Let me switch us over to Makers and Crafting. I really do need to figure out a better way to set up my space. Alright. We are now in Makers and Crafting. We are going to swap our cameras again.
I don't know what y'all think, but
there we go. Actually, no. I lied. Well, the problem here is the camera's facing the wrong direction. Okay, well, it's fine. This is correct. This is, what am I doing? Haha, there we go. I'm trying to figure out which is which. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not very good at this. So, I will show off to you all. I've put all the pieces together. We are essentially doing another zippered pouch, but this one's with cotton fabric. So, I have a black zipper tape. And I will say, so this is the other thing, is I scrounged all of this from my scraps or from stuff I already had. So the vinyl pouch is made from vinyls that I already had on hand. And then this is from my scrap cotton fabrics, though it might have been a mistake to do this particular, like the candy cane striped one, because it's a weirdly stretchy cotton. But first off, I have so much, especially cotton scrap fabric from all of the things I've been doing. Cloth quilts. So I'm going to be finding a bunch of either scrappy little projects like this to just keep doing and like testing out making stuff and what have you, because like I have so much. So I dug into my fabric. I actually had some fusible fleece already. So we have, I think this is an extra. So we have 2 tabs here. Let's flip this over so it's a little easier to see. So there's 2 bits here that have fusible fleece already in them, that will be folded over in some way, shape, or form. So 2 of those. We have this fun little tabby thing that's going to go over the end of our zipper. We of course have our zipper. And then we have, this is going to be my lining fabric, so just a solid red cut. And then I'm going to also on the outside use this candy cane. So my point about potentially having done not using this stretchy is that when I was actually fusing the interfacing to the fabric, it got weirdly scrunched up here, like the fabric started curling in, and so there's these weird little wrinkles. But this is a test build from a YouTube video, so if it doesn't work out or it doesn't look perfect, that's fine. I have so much more fabric that I can use here, y'all. So much. I can make more. Probably the most difficult thing will be the amount of zippers. So in this case, I'm using kind of all-in-one zippers that I already had, which are, you buy it. It's a Coats and Clark. It comes all together, what have you. I had to make a purchase for a specific color of zipper that I needed for the zippered vest online. And the shop that I ordered from also does zippered tape. So it's the tape, like this whole thing minus it with no end and no zipper pull on it. So I purchased some of that and a couple basic zipper pulls so that I could, rather than having to buy a zipper, a all-in-one, all-included zipper, every time I want to make something, I can just pull out the zipper tape and a zipper pull and cut the length I need and put it all together. And it's also, generally speaking, more economical because you will get for a couple of bucks. Depending on where you buy it and what type of material, you can get 3 yards of zipper tape for $5 or less. Emphasis on depending on where you buy it. So, I will own up here that this one is going to be a little interesting because one of the things I will be doing as we go about this, y'all, is I will be referencing the video for what to do. This is one time where I wish I had like a video stand or a phone stand to put that on. So for our cotton, and then I'm just using a little paper for minor notes. Cotton zipper pouch. We are using, we're going to swap out a few things here. The first is, as soon as I figure out where I put it. I keep moving things, y'all, and as a result of moving them, I keep losing them. Fabric reminds you of in and out. That is a good one. It was on sale after Christmas like a year ago, and so I bought it. So a couple of things because I was working with vinyl, I was using a different needle. It was actually, I don't know how well you all can read this, but it was recommended to use a like leather or a heavy duty needle, so I did. This time we're going to be working with cotton, so we're going to just swap back to like a completely standard regular needle. Once we get there, I heard a sound effect. Oh, Raiders, hi, welcome in. Hello. The sound effect and the alert happened at the same time, y'all. Things are working as intended. What did I just grab? Okay. This is fine. This is the correct thing that I wanted. Maybe this is it? Nope. Here we go. Hello, welcome in. Please hold one moment. Hi. Hello, everyone. First off, there's so many of you. Hold on. Let's swap over to just chatting. Hi, welcome in, everyone. Hello. Hi, if you don't know me, I'm Lady Luck 34. My pronouns are she, her. I am a variety streamer who does crafty things and video games and a lot of other nonsense. And y'all's timing is good because I spent a bit, chatting and BSing and what have you. And now we're actually going to get into the, like, doing things part of this. So welcome in, Leaf, Sirius, hi, Bude, Sahana. Leaf is doing both sides of, like, welcome in, but also rating. Pirate, Lily, hey, Val. How was Magic? I saw that you were playing it, but I was very, how to phrase this? I was very behind today because I got distracted. And so as a result, were you playing the murder set? I'm sorry, I shouldn't, it is, technically the title of it does involve murder, or does include the word murder, so calling it the murder set is appropriate. Better than usual. You didn't go 0-3 while drafting. Nice. I was playing playing Magic, the Commander mode with a friend yesterday, and ended up winning a game in the most ridiculous way. I played the Riders of Rohan set from Lord of the Rings. So the Lord of the Rings set that released in the middle of last year, came with, or not came with, but you could buy 4 commander decks. So there's one that's like the halflings with food. There's one that's like a Sauron, Army of Mordor 1. There's an Elves 1 where the commander is Galadriel. And then finally there's a Riders of Rohan 1 where the commander is Eowyn. I had not played the Riders of Rohan deck before, and then we were just kind of BSing with different decks yesterday, and I was like, oh, I'll play this one for fun. And then, small story here. First off, you have a card in that deck called Humble Defector. And when you play it out, it's a 2/1 red. If you tap it, you get to draw 2 cards, and then you give him to someone else. So he defects to a different player's battlefield. But you get to draw 2 cards. And so one of our regulars at Commander Days, who was sitting next to me, was like, oh, you should give it to me. And then we can just give it back to each other. Like, tap it, get 2 cards, and give it, like, back and forth. So at a certain point, I was like, well, this battlefield is looking ridiculous. I'm gonna do something silly. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna tap it. I'll draw my 2 cards, and I'll give it to him, assuming that he's going to give it back to me. He does not. When he taps it and draws 2 cards, he gives it to somebody else. And I'm like, oh no. That was not what we agreed upon. Which of course is how Magic goes when you're playing like multiple people with Commander all at a table in real life. Like, there's politics, there's trying to convince each other to attack other people, what have you. So I was like, well, for that alone, I'm now going to do something ridiculous. And one of the other players was playing a deck that every time he got a treasure token, he could generate either a dog or a cat token. And he had like 6 dogs with, I think it was trample or vigilance or something. So anyways, for people who play Magic, this will make sense. For anybody else, it doesn't. But there's 2 cards that do a lot of nonsense in the Riders of Rohan deck. There's multiple cards, but there were 2 in particular. So first, I played Call for Aid, which basically allows you to take over another player's entire battlefield for that turn and attack with it. You just can't attack them, and you can't do anything that requires sacrificing their creatures. So he had 6 3/1 dogs, and then 3 additional creatures, including 1 human, and the Riders of Rohan deck gives you bonuses the more humans you have. So I had something out that was like for every additional of a particular creature type. So if I attacked with 3 humans, all of my humans, like every human would get 2 +1/+1. So I was attacking with 6 dogs, so every dog got +5/+5. So they became 8 6s, and used his hand to nearly wipe out everybody else at the table. I think at the end of that round, 1 guy had 5 life left and 1 guy had 2. And then they pissed me off a little bit later on with the same thing because they kept passing the card back, but not to me. So there's a card called Earthquake that you can play that, essentially you can spend as much mana as you want and you do that amount of damage to every creature on the field and to all players. So I had, 11 mana, so I'm like, the 2 to cost to spend it and then have 9 more, so everyone takes 9 damage and I just wiped the board with everyone. So this is my long story of telling you all about the game of Magic I played yesterday that I won. I then promptly lost every other game, but I won that one. I do like the murder set. There's some neat cards in the murder set, which is quite entertaining, and the like detective themes from Clue, which are fun, and what have you. Oh, it was so funny because the other thing too is when I started the whole thing, I was like, I'm angry at you for not giving me that card back after we agreed you were going to do it. But then I was like, I'm definitely, like, based on what the battlefield looked like, everybody else's cards and stuff out, I was like, I'm not getting what I need to do anything meaningful, so I'm playing for chaos. And that's why I played Call for Aid. Because I just thought it would be funny. And so the same thing was later on, I was like, I don't know what's going to happen, but this will be funny. So I'm playing Earth. So that was basically how I played that game, and that's how I won. I did play the Merfolk deck a little bit later, the one from Caverns of Ixalan. And I was a problem for like 3 rounds. And then they decided I was a problem and everybody killed me. But it was really funny. But yeah, the Riders of Rohan game that I played that deck was very much you've made me angry and I'm now making it everyone else's problem. Last game went well because you managed to get out the fun new dragon that has to remove things from your graveyard to call your... There are multiple ridiculous ones. There is a card that's very funny and I have it and I'm happy to send you a photo of it, Pirate, that is essentially... Our music has stopped, y'all. That is essentially, like, it introduces poison counters, but it's like a random poison. It's not a poison set. So it's very entertaining to me. There's some really good ones in there. There's some really silly ones. There's one I have, that I got from that set that I put into my, legendary creatures deck that is essentially, based on how many mana you spend, one of the opponent you choose, has to exile that number of cards from the top of their deck. But they exile it and then you get to play them. So that number of cards, like if it's 10 cards, those 10 cards are exiled for them, but they're playable for me, for the rest of the match. And the, required mana types don't apply to casting them. So that's a really fun one. It's very similar to what somebody else has, his commander for a zombie deck that's like, I get to play with other people's hands. This is like, oh no, you're basically milling your cards off the top of your deck, but instead of going to the graveyard, they go to exile, and I get to play them if I want to. I also made that other people's problems. So anyways, welcome in everyone. So we spent a lot of time BSing at the beginning of the stream, because I was behind, and then I was eating, and then we were talking about different things. So now we are going to be attempting to make a zippered pouch. I'm going to be following a video on YouTube. Yeah, so the disguise mechanic is new with this set. And it depends on the cards. Some of them are like, oh, the like bonus for doing the disguise doesn't seem as helpful, so I just play them as is. And then there's other ones that like, oh no, the disguise is really good. There's it's a blue card from this set that is an octopus, and it's something like, I think it has bubbles in its name. And if you disguise it, when you turn it over, it gets 4 +1/+1 counters added to it by, undisguising it, essentially. Revealing it. So, like, there's some that are really good, and some that are like, meh, you could just play them as is. It's really fun doing pre-release every time, because, yeah, it's super cute art, isn't it? It's like a totally adorable little octopus art. And it's just a problem when it becomes undisguised. I say that because somebody did it to me. There's also, this set also had the different art version. I think it's a different art version of the crocodile elk turtle, which is absolute BS. It's a defender. It's a 215. Okay, this is not magic talk, but it could be magic talk. So I'm going to swap this back over to our crafting view. And we're going to attempt to sew something like you do. So I've just been swapping my needle. We're going back to a standard, standard 9014. I also didn't thread my machine. I picked the red to match. My thread is Gutermann 410, which is a red. I bought this little, it's a tiny, little 100-meter thread, because what I bought, these are really good to get if you want to test out a bunch of colors or have a wide variety. But it is a set of 26 different colors, which you can in 3 different rows. So this retails, I think, at $40, but I waited until I had a 50% off coupon to Joann and bought it for $20. And so this gives me like a bunch of various colored threads that I've been using for smaller projects. Most of the time I'm using, whites, white, black, gray, kind of tan natural colors, but sometimes it's fun to try and match appropriately. So anyways, now that you all have gotten long magic talk, how's everyone doing this evening? We're supposed to be getting a snowstorm tomorrow, which will be fun, I'm sure. And then our zipper is I'll end up copying these over into my actual notebook, but for now, I'm just keeping like little notes for myself as I work on these. So move that over there, y'all over there. We'll move everything around. Yeah, I got to we talked about this on the Tech Friday that I did with DC Lasser. But one of, I think, the two biggest challenges, one of which is self-imposed, so it's on me, is one that I certainly, because my setup is modular from the perspective of like I'm constantly swapping out what's on my table and all of those things. What that means is that, hold on, let me see if I can give you all a slightly better look at what we're going to be doing here. If you'd rather I swap the cameras where you all get like a better close-up view of the machine from what is currently my face cam, please let me know and I'm happy to do that. But one, because I'm swapping everything around, I can't have like a perfect setup. Okay, but I want you to focus on this. There we go. Perfect setup from the perspective of like, because I'm always moving things, that means I have to move everything. And then two is, there was a second reason why I'm like, this is challenging. Oh, all of the equipment gets in the way. So like I said, you all can't see it very well. Well, you can. So this base that's right in the view of the camera is the base of the Lutra Beam, from Logitech. And it's great light. It's fantastic. I love having it here, but it's in the way. And I don't have a good way to have it not be in the way. And then it's in the way of the kind of boom arm like thing that the light is, or the camera's on. So I also need, this is like a 2-arm camera. I really need a 3-arm camera. Oh, Leaf, let me tell you. We'll get snow as late as May. Let's be real clear here. The worst of our winter runs from really January to March. But like, we got a snowstorm in May a couple of years ago. Alright. So we're going to start with this. It's been folded in. We're going to fold in here. Okay. So a lot of these are going to be like little teeny tiny things, so I don't know how easy it'll be to see, but I basically, this little thing, I'm going to just stitch on each end. This is actually going to be a little tab that covers the, well, first off, I did it wrong, so that explains a lot. That covers the end of the zipper for reasons. Don't make my life difficult, machine. Maybe this is not the best surface to use right now. So I'm using a red as my top thread and a white as my bottom thread. April 1 is a prime blizzard time here. I mean, it's wild. The first time I was like, what do you mean it snows in in as late as like April and May, and they're like, oh no, let us tell you. DJ, what's up? How are you doing this evening? I want you to know I've been lurking on and off in your streams. So, hi, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, New England life. It kind of reminds me of, Colorado to an extent. Cypher, thank you for gifting the 6 months to DJ. DJ, please enjoy the most important of all emotes, the Susie emote. Because doggos. But I hope you're doing well. It reminds me of Colorado, where you'll have warm weather one day and like 2 days later it snows. That's basically this. Nice. Hopefully the LA weather will be cooperative. Honestly, my favorite thing with LA is every time they get rain and everybody is like, oh no. Swole Susie, yes. Susie's trying her best. But yes, welcome in. I hope everyone's doing well this Monday. I hope your weekend wasn't too bad. I know it was a sports weekend, but it was... I have so little care for sports these days. Alright. So yeah, this is gonna be a little slow going because I'm gonna keep referencing the video. Like, what do you want from me? Alright, so we've now sewn the things. I'm following a video tutorial on YouTube. So there's like certain things that I absolutely, if I think I'm gonna, or I shouldn't say, complexity I think determines more of what I'm, of like what I choose to purchase. Ooh. What I choose to like purchase patterns for versus what I will go browse on YouTube to see if somebody's made a tutorial for it. Dinner ended just at 6 and has already been cleaned up. Oh no, your flight was delayed. All the proteins is what that is. So what I did there is I trimmed the edges. Listen, coffee's life. So now we're gonna take and fold it in, and it makes this fun little tabby thing. We made this fun little tabby thing. And now I'm pretty sure we are going to stick it onto the end of our zipper. Which is exactly what's gonna happen. Which we will then stitch. Which we will then stitch is the correct word I was trying to use. We are all always here for coffee. I like where we say coffee and I feel like that summons people. Like I need Furwick to show up out of work and be like, what? Coffee? I don't actually know if Furwick isn't work, but I feel like that's something that would summon Furwick. Alright. So basically what we're doing now is this is like a nice little cover for the end of the zipper. We're just putting it in nice before we stitch it. So this creates a nice little tabby end, which we are going to just pin closed real quick. Preferably without accidentally stabbing myself, yes. Like, yes, today I will not stab myself. That is goals. And then we're just gonna sew a nice little box On 8. My music stopped again. Music! Gonna be bouncing. It is morning. I feel like Furwick usually shows up and we're like, Furwick, coffee! Where's Zero? Also Zero. This is true, DJ. You are always high energy, but in a good way. Coffee not necessary. I mean, you could coffee, but coffee is not a needed component of that. Oh, there was stuff I was supposed to... Well, this was my mistake. That's what the, That's what the finger pressing tool will be for. Since I apparently... Come on, cooperate with me here. Machine? Great. This is Zero, usually time where Zero's hanging out with like Catherine and stuff, so we don't see a Zero in here too often for our evening streams. Back-to-back dating goals are meant to be attainable, Mandy. Well, theoretically, you are not incorrect. But realistically, are we surprised? This is not gonna be like the best, but it'll do. Which is really all that matters here. Again, this is a test build with like scrap fabric and stuff, so I'm not too concerned about whether it looks perfect. So we've just sewn a nice little square, which kind of closes this all in. Oh, yep, lopsided on the back. We'll do like just one. We'll do an extra row of stitches. It's fine. Totally fine. Nothing to worry about. Oh no! It got stuck. Oh no! So... well... You get cold brew in the fridge. Oh no! So what just happened, friends, is I just broke our sewing needle. Not how I expected this. I don't know how well y'all can see it. There's a little piece of metal right there. Sticking out, maybe. It's the edge of the needle. It's fine. Yeah. Not how well y'all can see it, but yeah. I have lucked out so far that every time I've broken a needle, I've broken it in such a way as it gets stuck wherever it's broken, so you can kind of see the interiors now. Just broken. It'd be like that, so guess what? The good part is, it's fine. Nobody was injured in the breaking of this needle. And the zipper is totally fine. Again, test builds. So let's bust out another needle. And try this again. But with less breaking, hopefully, this time. I might need to go get something else from the other room, though. Now that I realize. I don't know where my little... Actually, no, it's right here. Okay, perfect. We'll be fine. We don't need it from the other room. Okay, so we've done that. Injuries, so there. We got... It's a little... Has some funky looking stitching on it, but it's there for a reason. Okay, so now that we've done that, it's not the prettiest, but it doesn't have to be. So that can hang out here for a second. So, they want me to take the side. Okay. Alright, so do we want to do every edge of it? I'm gonna get our little press here. And they want us, if I measured this correctly, I did. This is mostly, they wanted me, so in this case, the pattern wants you to fold over 3/8, and technically I'm supposed to iron it, but guess what? The iron's in the other room, so what we're going to do instead is we're just going to fold it over, we'll take our little roller press to it. I guess I do have somewhere. I see it. You know what we're going to do, y'all? We're going to get a little creative. So hold on a second. And by creative, we mean make terrible life choices, but we're doing it anyways. Because I have over here, we have two things that will help us. One is, we have my little teeny tiny ironing board, and we also have our little teeny tiny iron. So we will pull you out, and we will pull you out. The two biggest challenges, I feel like, for many things, but especially for, like, crafting and stuff, is one, having space for all of your equipment, and then two, having, context for you all. If you all have not seen the baby, it's not plugged in, it's not turned on. The baby iron is, here's the end of my palm, here's my fingers. Baby iron is about the size of my hand. So, he is tiny. Hold it. Is little. Is little. I mean, are there other kinds of life choices? Alright, we'll turn you on. Set you to this. I'll give you a second to heat, and then you will actually iron. Yeah, I fell down the rabbit hole in addition to, you all know I've watched, like, room organization and what have you for sewing space, but I also was watching, like, organization of your crafting supplies in room. And there was a lady who's like, let's talk about organization. And she had like a 20 by 30 foot room that was her craft space. And she's like, yeah, this is the game room of this house. And I'm just going like, I respect it, even at the same time that I'm going, this is stupid. I wish I had that much space with everything just dedicated to my crafts. I mean, also, like, get yours, lady. Happy for you. Even as I'm going, like... It was... I mean, I don't know if that was the actual size, but it was a huge room. It was basically... Like, it was like, oh, it's the game room. Like, the wet bar I've converted into, like, this storage space. And the whole time I'm going, like, this is wild. Great. Alright, tiny iron. But yeah, so in addition to having space for all of your things, you also need to have space, like, appropriate setup for being able to plug in all the things. It's one of my challenges when I set up to cut and iron out on in my living room when I roll the foldable table out there, because one of the challenges I have there is the places that I can plug in the iron are not great. They end up basically not in a good spot for me actually being able to iron without either tripping on the cord or having the cord be too short and me running the risk of throwing the iron off of the table by accident. And then this is also technically 100% cotton, but it's like a weird felty cotton. So I picked two really weird cottons together to do this, which is like, it's fine. Okay, let's do a quick look if they need me to do any other ironing before I unplug this and put this away. Okay, no. I mean, I'm sure it's going to make me do more ironing, so I'm going to, like, unplug this and move it all out of the way, and then I'm going to have to plug it all back in and do it again in a second, but it's fine. We do this a lot. We do this here a lot. Please be safe when you're moving things around here, so I am being very careful not to accidentally get myself with the iron. I would say, actually, my biggest problem, one of my biggest issues, besides just, like, one of my many issues, maybe that's a better way of putting it, with all this stuff is actually more to do with, alright. So they want the fold down piece here. They want me to mark 5/8. Nope. Guess what, y'all? I didn't actually mark it. There are some people who have not taken a sewing class with me before in this class, and we're like, we should warn you about the fact that I speak to myself out loud while I'm sewing, and you all are going to go on a roller coaster of a journey with me. Alright, so we've marked 5/8. Great, great, great. And they want me to unzip this, fold this upside down. Alright. Put this here, and then we're going to stitch it. Hold on, I need to watch this entire section of this video. Oh, okay, I get what they're doing here. Alright, cool. Okay. Hey, Antiquated, welcome in. I hope you are doing alright today. I'm doing a tutorial in real time, so, like, feel free to judge me, but also, it's a day. Yeah, no, it's actually a little bit of a comedy. Because now we're like, I think I forgot to give the warning, and then I said something as we were prepping to cut, and my friend is also in this Zippered Vest class as well, and she's like, have you warned everyone what being in a class with you is like? And I was like, oh, actually, no, we have not done that. So we probably should. Alright, so we're gonna do a small cheat here, y'all. I say cheat, but it's actually real fun. So what it's having me do is I'm folding under, we will we will clip this first. So we're lining up at 5/8 against this. They're saying clip the whole thing across. We have the zipper is, right side is down. And then what we're going to do is we are going to take something hopefully light colored that isn't out of ink, maybe? No, might have dried out. No, that's unfortunate. That's okay, we got something else. We got backups. We got backups for our backups. See if the light blue will work. I mean, like, no. That's not what I actually meant to grab. I meant to grab this. They're both light blue. They're just different kinds of light blue. So we're just gonna mark both sides. That gives us, I don't know how well it shows up on the camera. One's further away, but we have marking there. And then, what we will do here is we will unzip, and then essentially what's going to happen is we're going to take this to the other side, do the exact same thing, fold under, line up against the 5/8 marking, in our raw edges together, and then we're going to flip the whole thing down. And if we did it right, which it looks like we did, the edge that we just marked will line up with the edge of our fabric here. So one of the things you can do, especially with like zipper tapes or other small pieces, if you want to make your life easier, is rather than having to clip them down, you can use double-sided tape to actually, so I was doing this right. I would essentially take this, I would lay the double-sided tape down close to the edge, for the length of whatever I wanted. In this case, we're going to go all the way to the edge-ish. We'll trim it. And now, what I can do is if I was going to just make sure that we've applied that well. And then we will attempt to pull off the paper, but not the sticky. My music is stopped. Why is my music stopped? What is it? Which I will now proceed to struggle with because people are watching. This is only difficult because y'all are here with me, watching me fail to peel. Well, this is embarrassing. Ha! There we go. Alright. There we go. So, hold this up hopefully where you all can see it alright. So y'all can see a little reflective. That's the double-sided tape. So now that we've done that whole thing, I will basically take this again, fold it under. Oh, the needle came off, but luckily we know about where 5/8 is because we laid it down that way. Just don't do what I just did, which is I attached. Hi, seriously. And then I don't actually need to clip it because now the double-sided tape will hold it there. Now I'm going to, just to make sure it stays. But this was, so the vinyl pouch that I showed you all, the little vinyl boxy thing, I did it this way so that it would just be easier with the tape on the vinyl. Yeah, look at that. Perfect. Okay. Okay, video. What am I doing next? So we laid that down. Folded it. So one side, both sides are clipped. One side is taped, the other side is not taped. The thing that's funny with me here too is that they clip it like this and then they pin it, which I find a very interesting choice. Alright, and then basically we're going to, it looks like, stitch both sides down. So I'm going to swap this over to a zipper foot to hopefully make my life a little bit easier. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Maybe, if I can attach it. I'm every kind of Butterfinger tonight, y'all. So the structure of a zipper foot, I'll show it to y'all in just a second, just basically makes it easier to stitch close to the teeth of the Are you freaking kidding me? Cooperate with me here, machine. Oh. So that you have like you don't have as much extra fabric. Also, y'all let me know, I think this is the first time we've been sewing while I've done this, so let me know how loud the sewing machine is. I will be quite intrigued if it is extra loud. So now you can see I have stitched here, smooth-ish, a little bit of struggle to front. So stitched here along, so our zipper will be folded out. Oh no! I clicked the wrong thing. Oh no! Oh, take me back to where I was. Alright, assumingly they want me to sew both sides, so that's what we're gonna do. Let's see if this other side goes as smoothly, since I did not tape it down. Just a gentle hum? Perfect. That is the answer I wanted. Thank you for that. Or I should rephrase it as that's the answer I hoped for. Probably a better way of putting it. Come on. Yeah. Alright. Okay. Both sides of the zipper have been placed. So as you all can see, we have these. I don't know what they want me to actually stitch that at. I don't know what I actually stitched that at. Was that a 1/4 inch? Ish. Maybe closer to 3/8, but it's fine. Alright, let me trim these threads real quick. Oh no! I clicked the wrong thing again, y'all. I'm very bad at this. Okay. Anybody working on anything fun? So here we go. Here's our zippers right now. Trying to catch back up to where I was. Alright, so I believe our next step is we're going to take this, right sides together, lay it down, and lay it over everything. Got it. Okay. I'm not going to accidentally click away this time. So basically what I'm now going to do is I'm going to try and line these up for the most part. Little awkward with the zipper. Actually, let's unzip it all the way. That'll give me a little bit more working room. There we go. So we're matching up the two sides that we folded under. We're overlapping with the zipper. That's intentional. And now basically, it's how we're going to essentially attach the outer to the lining. Had a pause on project. That's fair. So last night I wanted to save this to sew on stream, even though I then planned terribly and we ended up spending a lot of time talking at the start. But so I wanted to sew this on stream with you all, and I thought it's a project I could get done in 2-ish hours, which it theoretically is when I don't get distracted and when I am not being distracted. Whoops. But I also cut the material to make some more bucket hats because I'm doing some as gifts to my family at a 3/8 inch. Alright, perfect. So, we've now clipped, so we have our lining on one side, our exterior on the other side, and we are going to stitch the three sides. And I'm going to swap this out. We don't need the zipper tape right now, or we don't need the... Actually, we might want the zipper tape, or the zipper. So a zipper foot looks like this. I'm not sure how well you all can see it, but there's little indents where the needle will go as a thin foot, and it just allows you to get very close to the teeth of a zipper, which is very nice when from a... Actually, let's do it this way. Hopefully this is gonna work out the way we would like. And by we, I mean I. I'm already, this stretchy candy cane fabric is, if I'm real honest, not great. It's a pain in the butt. causing me trouble. I don't love it. But it's whatever. We'll make it work. Pro tip, y'all, your material selection does matter. I'm fairly confident that I originally purchased this just because it was on sale. And while that's not the worst reason to buy something, it can make your life, in some cases, more challenging. As we're about to see right here. There we go. That should hopefully... There we go. Also, part of the thing was I should have done, I was supposed to do the zipper stitch at 1/4 inch, and I'm fairly confident I did not. So that will come back to bite you later, but that's a problem for future Mandy, so, you know. Alright. So we have now, you can kind of see it, we have now stitched around the full edge. It's not quite as even as we might have liked, but it's fine. It's good enough. It's good enough. I mean, we'll find out when we have to turn everything whether it looks terrible. Alright, let's take a look. So, we stitched, which is fine. Let me trim these threads. These are actually two, like, probably not great threads, or fabrics that I chose for this. But guess what? I did it to myself, y'all. I have not watched any of the commercials. I'm a bit behind this year, where normally I actually will go and, like, Ad Age and a bunch of other places will be like, here's all of the Super Bowl. Alright, all of the, like, Super Bowl commercials. And I will usually go and check them out, and I just have not this time. Alright, we're just trimming the corners so that hopefully this will sit a little bit better. This just helps so that you don't end up with a lot of extra fabric in the corners when you turn stuff inside out. So we just trimmed a little triangle there, and we trimmed a little triangle here, and now we're gonna turn it inside out. I will have to go watch them, and then we will talk about it. We will have to discuss. Hold all of this down. I'm just gonna clip it closed for a second. My folds here are not doing quite what I want them to. And then I will show you how it's looking. Just a second, please hold. So, turn it all inside out. Actually, let me, so, poke out a few corners as best we can. Yep. Alright. So, it needs to be ironed down, but you can flatten it out, and I might have done this backwards, still. So the issue here is, I think, this is not. Oh no, I know. I see what's happening here. It does need to be pressed. Because the issue I'm having is that because it's not pressed when I'm zipping, there we go. We've now zipped. So I meant for the stripes to be the exterior. So I'm a little confused by what I've done here. But I think it's fine. Maybe? Maybe? Use. Okay, they do want me to top stitch it. Got it. So essentially, top stitching will help us deal with this fabric that needs to be pressed. Alright, so you'll typically lengthen your stitch when you're top stitching. Okay, right? I just, listen. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to top stitch right here along each edge that has the zipper, which you can't really see because it's a black zipper on a black table. But what that will help us do is, I hate to say it like folds down the fabric, but essentially that's what it does. In this case, it's going to help us keep it from unless you press or top stitch, the fabric is going to tend to roll up. So theoretically, I should do both, but in this case, we are just going to top stitch it. Because that's what I feel like doing. But not like this. Well, first off, there's my first mistake. Was I forgot to swap. Whoops, forgot to swap. Don't do it like this, y'all. This is bad top stitch etiquette. I swear I know what I'm doing. Well, I don't really. I haven't made this one before. But, conceptually, I know what I'm doing. Realistically, I don't. And anybody who believes I do, I'm sorry. You've been lied to. But yeah, so anyways. So I'm ready to start my next book. I'm excited. A vinyl I ordered and a vinyl that Cypher got me came in. So that was exciting. So much, it's Cowboy Bebop. Crunchyroll was doing a release of I guess I would say not standard Cowboy Bebop. I don't know if they're re-releases or what it is. I have the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack on vinyl. And then they did 2 additional vinyls that Crunchyroll put out that released. Like I said, these are really terrible fabric choices, which I did to myself, and I know it, but that won't stop me from complaining that they're terrible fabric choices. So yeah, a top stitch, a little bit easier to see on the other side. Just helps make everything stay where it's supposed to be. And usually we'll look, some people do top stitching in this case to help, and sometimes you do top stitching just for the look of it. And when I say help, I just mean, in the context of, getting things to lay flat, or in this case, we're stitching it with the goal that it, helps pull the fabric away from the teeth of the zipper. Or like, I'm pulling it and then it's hopefully going to hold the fabric away from the teeth of the zipper. So that we don't have that issue of me trying to zip it and it being like, oh no, everything's gonna get caught. Like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, totally fine. This is just a thing that happens. No reasons to be concerned. Since I didn't press it, I'm kind of trying to do a combination of like pulling the fabric or finger pressing it away from the teeth of the zipper in an effort to hopefully have it do what I want. So when we were zipping it, it was the striped fabric that was the problem. But now as we're top stitching, it's actually the solid underneath that's being problematic. It's okay, peppermint fabric. That one's on my list, which I have not gotten to yet. But everybody has great things to say about it. Spy X Family. I started watching, what did I start? Let's see. I binge watched, crap, what was the name of it? I will not remember now the name of the one that I'm thinking of. And by binge watch, I mean over the past week or so. There's only like 10 episodes. A drama, I don't know. I think it's a J-drama. About a girl who basically, is inspired to become a nurse because of a doctor she runs into while she's still in school. And she's like, she sees him once and it's very much the cliche, like, I fell in love with him. I have a crush and I'm gonna become a nurse and get to work with him in the future. And, very comedic sequence of events. But it was only 10 episodes, so it was a little bit more, I hate to say easier to watch in like a week or something, but it's not like one of the 30 plus episode ones. Alright, so we just top stitched, yay, well done us. I might have supposed to be doing like something more. Well, I did as a top stitch. I don't know if that's what they meant. They didn't give a width, so yeah. Okay. So next up. Alright, so next up, they want me to go and fold this in half. And then mark the half. Crap. It's wrinkly, so I'm like, where's the fold? I don't actually know. There we go. There we go. Alright. Look at this. How far is it from the edge? It's about not quite 5.5. Okay. And then they want it, they want it to be, no, I think it was 2 3/4. Yes, 2 3/4. So, there's this here. And this is, you all are kind of watching me do this in real time. One of the challenges here is that, like, there's stuff in the way. So here I am trying to mark things, and I have alright, 2 3/4 means 3/4 brings it here, 1, 2, here. Okay. So you mark that. Cool. Now what? Oh, okay. Got it. Alright, so now we're basically, I don't want to say we're going to quilt it, but essentially, we're going to quilt it. We're going to stitch down these lines that I've hopefully marked correctly. I'm just putting these pins in, mostly to make sure that the multiple layers don't shift while I'm stitching. And we can just pull them out as we go. Alright. So just back to it. This is on top stitch, so I just want to check if she's back tacking as she does it. I don't think so. Okay. I kind of want to have like a little magnetic tray that just sits here. That I can pull needles out and they just immediately get pulled to the magnetic tray. That would be so nice, wouldn't it? She says to herself. As the sewing continues. Alright. This one's really straightforward. This part of it is really straightforward. And I don't have to think about it super hard. Which is the best part. And I'm hoping here that, since they didn't specifically show back tacking, that, then all work out. But anyways, quick reminder, as usual, this week, like last week, as mentioned, stream on Wednesday, not on Thursday. And actually, stream on Wednesday might be impacted, maybe, depending on how snow tomorrow goes. Because depending on which report you look at, we might get from 4 to 7 inches of snow, or we might get, 8 to 14. Depends on who you talk to, I guess, or which weather station you follow. Alright. Alright, great. Let me trim these, and then we will have to bust out the iron again, as we thought we might. This is freaking annoying me. Hold under the way you're supposed to. So you can hopefully see, well, not very well. Hold on, and I'll try to show you all. The stitching. It's not showing very well on camera. Well, it doesn't appear to be showing well on camera on the small preview that I get. So we've now stitched 3 rows, which splits us into 4. I'm using on this side, 4 even. What the heck is going on there? This one section is being problematic. Guess what? That's what ironing is for. Alright. Bring back the iron. Not quite sure how this is going to ultimately turn into the thing it's supposed to be, but we're going to get there. Remember, y'all, we're trusting the process. So we'll give our little iron a couple minutes to heat up. Alright, yep. So basically what it's going to have us do is we're going to fold at the stitch line, and then we're going to press it. And then we're going to fold at the stitch line, and we're going to press it. Help try and give it some more shape, and make sure that it's kind of sticking to the shape that we're hoping for here. Unfortunately, we have a very, I hate to say very unstable, that's maybe not the best way to phrase it, but we have a slightly unstable So again, we're pressing at basically the line where we stitched. Ish at the line where we stitched. Or I should say at each of the lines where we stitched. Again, I'm not quite sure how we're going to get to the end result that they think we're going to get to, but I'm trusting the process. Also, unfortunately, I didn't open the my mini ironing board all the way. And I wonder if they used a vinyl. Okay. Yours seems stiffer than how mine has turned out. So I feel like maybe I was supposed to use I just used cotton for both. So like if it doesn't turn out great, maybe we'll do a vinyl next. But essentially we've just ironed this whole thing, and it's kind of creating this sort of boxy look. So we're now going to move on to our two little tabs here, which I had them folded up, but we were going to fold under. Using our fleece as a guide, we will clip and then we will take a marker actually no, let's be smart and make this just a little bit bigger. It just looks like it has more, how should I phrase this, shape. Like it doesn't flop over as easily as this one does. So it's possible that the material they used, I just used 2 cottons. I don't know if they actually gave any directions for what to use or not use. That's just what I did. Yeah, hopefully when this is all done, it's going to turn out cute, even if I have some snafus along the way. Tanya, the goal. And even if like this one doesn't turn out great, what I'm hoping is that I will have at least a decent template and understanding of how I put it together, in such a way that I can maybe make a second one with better fabric choices than this. I feel like I did something else with these fabrics, and afterwards I was like, why did I do this to myself? These were terrible fabrics. And now I feel like I've repeated that entire scenario. First things first. My measurements aren't quite perfect, but they will hopefully be good enough. Again, test build. The fabrics I already have, so it doesn't cost me as much to do it. It just costs me the time more than anything else. Alright. I don't think we're actually that far from the end, in transparency to y'all. I I assume that I'm now going to flip this inside out. Oh, after I probably trim my corners. Also, there's not timestamps on this, so I'm like constantly in a like, what? Yep. So we will trim all 4 corners. I heard a sound effect. Maybe I heard a sound effect? Is there just like a random extra sound effect? No, there was. Are my donation alerts not on? What nonsense is this? Oh, did I just miss it? So alternatively, it happened and I'm just oblivious. And I realized when the sound effect happened because I think they're out of sync. I keep breaking all of the alerts and things on my stuff, and it's great, y'all. And by great, I mean terrible. And then I keep forgetting to fix them until I'm like, oh, I'm about to stream. I should fix that. Ooh, that might be a problem, but that's fine. That's a problem for future Mandy in about 5 minutes, probably. Alright, so in terms of corners, again, that helps, so we don't end up with bulky fabrics that are overlapping with each other. Yeah, well, that's what happened, I think, before. Thank you, Anonymous, for that donation, getting us to the goal. I believe Team Cypher as a whole has raised over $10,000? If an alert happens during a stream, but the streamer doesn't hear it, did it really happen? Alternatively, if the streamer hears it but doesn't see it, did it really happen? Alright, so now we're gonna fold these inside out. Or, well, right side out is really what's actually happening here. Hold on a second, I gotta poke the corners. And then we fold everything in and clip it closed, and so we end up with this nice little something or other. Tab? Oh, we've blown past. Oh, 12.5k. Nice. I'm so behind, y'all. I also, have not really been, this sounds weird, I've not really been excessively on the internet for a bit. Let's see. Yay! Pirates always, I shouldn't say always, but Pirates usually lurking post your own stream. For very good reason. And no obligation to stay and hang out. But you're packing right now, which is a whole separate challenge. Okay, so we've made those 2 tabs. And we're gonna stitch, is it a top stitch? That's interesting. We're not stitching on the side that has the opening, we're stitching on the side that has the closed. Which I'm basically treating like a top stitch? I don't think that they back-tacked it. No, they did. Whoops. Well. It's fine. Alright, wait, hold on. There's some wild things they're doing here. Please hold. Okay. Okay. Thread. There's also going to be some extra threads in places because I didn't necessarily, like... Ooh. Well, I botched that, but that's fine. I did say that would be a problem for future Mandy in about 5 minutes. It's not actually a problem, it's just going to be annoying. Okay, so we've turned it inside out. We did the top stitch. Now I think what they're going to have me do... Got this right. The top stitch the top, and then I think they're going to have us fold in here. So that we can mark the center, basically. Alright, fold in half, mark the center. Alright, yeah, they're doing some weird things here. Weird, but it makes it, well, I say it makes sense. It sort of makes sense. So I marked the center, and now I'm going to draw a line from one corner to that center mark. On one side. And then from the center mark to the other corner. And then assumingly I'm going to do the same thing on the other one. Yep. And then we're going to, whoops. Then we're going to stitch it. Okay. Sure. And we're going to turn. Darn it. Oh. Okay. It got caught on like the corner there, so it scrunched up a little bit. It'll still be doable, but yeah, I watched this video. I want you all to know, I did actually watch this entire video previously because I was like, I want to understand how this is going to work. And yet I'm still confused as we get to places because I'm like, what did they want me to do? I don't understand. But thank you for getting, I'm sorry, I got very distracted because the alert and then the 2,500 and then I have a short attention span. But thank you for that donation that got us to our $350 goal, contributing. And while I've not been really online much, the past few days, the internet tells me there's some nonsense, and that I say nonsense because without having looked it up, because I don't have the mental capacity for that right now. In this case, I say nonsense just to say stuff has happened, and the kind of work and support that the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund does is needed more than ever. Not that it hasn't been needed for quite a while. But based on my knowledge of recent events, I will not be surprised if it's even needed more at this point. So every little bit helps, so thank you for donating. Alright. Okay. Okay, so those both have been done. Now let's see what next. Now my keyboard's in the way again. I'll just throw it down here on the floor. It's fine. So now we've got this whole thing. We stitched both sides. Alright, so basically, what we want us to do is take it, fold it. Okay. So we're going to fold, same as what we did with this. We're folding and ironing to help, in this case, the iron's still kind of warm, so we might not need to plug it in. We might just be able to throw it up here and iron. The things you all can't see, which is also making this slightly more challenging, is my Stream Deck is up here as well on the table. So there is a little bit of a, like, oh crap, that's sort of in the way of things like this. I thought it would be hot enough. And, like, it's warm. So basically, it has you ironing on the stitch line here in an effort to, like, help, again, give it, like, this folding shape. Hey, DC, welcome in. I hope you're doing alright today. Or alright enough, might be the better way of putting it. Alright, so that's folded. Because it's only taking a couple seconds, I don't really want to have to plug the iron back in. So, we're trying to, like, cheat with a little bit of heat that's still on it. Because it's, again, stuff not well set up for where the plugs and where the wires and irons and things need to go here. And as a result. Alright, so the goal here is just that we're trying to make this fold a little better, like it does. So, mission accomplished. Hopefully no more ironing now. Throw that out of the way. Alright. Now what? So yes, we did the thing. Putting clips here so that this section up here can kind of hopefully cause me less trouble while Alright, so we're going to take this. Okay, so I think now we're going to be basically matching this up to the edges. This way. Okay. Alright, let's see if we... Hold on a second. This will match up, and this will mostly match up. So we might have actually done this right. Okay. Alright, this is wild. Okay. Now we're going to, how did we do it? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Alright, you can go here. Ish. This is going to be real interesting to stitch. Okay. 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 I see what I'm supposed to do, y'all. Let's see if we can actually make this happen. I'm gonna switch. I want these pens. I want longer pens for this one. Alright, let's, Alright, let's see if what we're doing is going to work the way we hope it will. But I hope everybody's Monday is not being too much of a Monday. Alright, y'all, we're gonna try this. So what we've just done is we've put these two tabs, one on each end. We're gonna stitch the edges together. Which may go well or it may not. Who knows? We're about to find out. I'm actually really glad that I'm using the heavy duty, heavy duty sewing machine because we're about to go through like 8 layers right here. Which is like, it's totally fine. Totally fine. Not cooperating because freaking. Well, they managed to keep going in one go, but I did not. So we're gonna do this in 2 sets of stitches, and hope that it lines up. Gosh darn it. Alright. Okay. Now let's do it on the other side, I guess. How did they turn and do this? Alright, they just were like, yep, we're doing it. Okay. Guess what, y'all? We're doing it. Right? Maybe a little short now. No, I think I was all these other threads are getting in the way, so we're just gonna real quick just trim all of this. I swear it's gonna make sense in a second when it's done, y'all. Or at least hopefully it is. very awkward. There's a lot of fabric. For such a small piece, there's a lot of fabric here. And it doesn't help that I'm like trying to watch the video on my phone very much with a whole bunch of other stuff right here in the way. So again, not the best setup for all the things I'm attempting to do right now, but it's fine. This is all absolutely, totally fine. Crap. That was... Well, what the heck? Not cool. You just kind of got yourself all sorts of tangled there, buddy. Yeah, let's just turn it all off. And try again. It's like, it's awkward to begin. Actually, you know what? That's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to cheat, and we're going to do it from the other direction. We're still going to end up with the same end result. Oh. Except for... How? How are you managing to do this? Like, how are you pulling the thread in this way? Machine. What are you doing, machine? It's this exact spot. That's like, what the heck is happening here? Alright, well. Questions abound, y'all. I have no clue. So we're just gonna rethread everything. It'll be fine. We're so close to the end. Alright. Okay. One more time, y'all. I'm gonna break this whole thing by accident. Take and pin that together, which should hopefully make my life a teeny tiny bit easier. Ow. I say as I stab myself. What's sewing without, like, at least a tiny little bit of blood involved? Finally, y'all, we might have done it. There were some challenges. Alright, cool. Alright, so, now I can show this to you all. Once I trim these threads out of the way, and you can kind of see what this is going to do is give us a little kind of enclosure there at the end that will theoretically I feel like I did something wrong. I feel like I put this in wrong? But essentially, it will fold it in, and we will end up with something kind of... ended up like something. I don't know. What the heck did I do? I might have done this all backwards with the, DC! You're on a streak! And not a small streak, either. What the heck? I don't know? I'm very confused here on how the zipper seems like it's backwards is my problem here. And I don't quite know how that's going to be resolved. At the moment, currently. But it's fine. It's whatever. We're gonna do this other stitchy part, and hopefully it will sort itself out sometime soon. There we go. I'm trying to make sure I don't accidentally catch anything in this that I shouldn't. Because I would absolutely accidentally sew like this zipper to itself or something. Alright. Hey, listen. If Twitch is gonna get you a button, you gotta press it. That's what they're for. When I was a small child, and by small I mean I was under the age of 10. I don't remember the exact year. My parents were stationed at an Air Force base in Virginia. We lived in Virginia. My parents were stationed at Air Force Base, and it was right near a naval base as well. And bunch of military families in the neighborhood. And down the street from us was a officer in the Navy. And I just remember getting woken up in the middle of the night. One day, my parents are like, get dressed. We're going out. And I was like, it is literally the middle of the night. What? You're a small child. You don't know. You're like, what the heck? So, okay, get dressed. We're going out. It's the middle of the night. Well, our neighbor from down the street had called. And, this could have been 3 a.m. This could have been 10 at night. I was a small child. I would not have known the difference. Neighbor down the street from the Navy. Oh, hold on. Turn it. Well, our bobbin thread ran out. So, that's slightly annoying. But our neighbor down the street had called them and was like, hey, there is a nuclear sub at the naval base right now. It has just come in. They're like restocking, doing a couple of things. It will only be at dock for a couple hours. But if you go now, we can get you all in to do like a brief tour. And, you know, this is like the military equivalent of a once in a lifetime chance. So my parents were like, heck yeah, woke me and my brother up. And at some unsure time of the morning for a small child, we got to go take a tour of a nuclear sub. And I just remember, the relevant point for this was I remember as we were going through a couple of the different sections of the sub, being like, this is a room where the entire wall is covered in buttons and switches. And in small child fashion, wanting to press all of them. And some of the staff there on the sub who were, I don't know, doing like, I guess the equivalent of systems checks and things like that, what have you, were like staring at, you know, small child being like, do not touch a thing. I will say that's one of like what was one of the interesting things when you have like multiple like different branches, having either sharing a base or having a bases close to each other, is you did kind of have this interesting cross-pollination like that, where it's like we never would have known and done it if it wasn't for the fact that, you know, we had a Navy guy who lived down the street that gave my parents the heads up and was like, now's your chance. And like that image of that particular room with like the wall of all of the buttons and switches and things like that, and the couple of staff that were there is like emblazoned in my memory. This is such an awkward way to stitch this. Not gonna lie. I kind of hate it. They make it look so easy in the video. Alright, here's it's a little uneven, so we're gonna wind this spot. So basically, child me was not that much different from adult me, is really what I'm saying here. Let's do it. There we go. I'll make this not easier, but maybe not quite so freaking annoying. This is just like a really awkward. I get why we're doing this way, but it's also slightly annoying. Oh. And because of like the placement of all of this is also, it's like, here we go, like that. There we go. Like, I'm trying to do this without accidentally taking my finger out. Or my fingers out trying while I stitch this. So it is a little bit awkward. Alright. This is mostly fine. Alright, let me trim all these threads. Okay, but the question is, what the frick did I do to the zipper? I feel like it's wrong. I'm sure that they're gonna have me, like, turn this in some way, shape, or form where it's suddenly gonna make sense. But right now, I feel like I put in the zipper wrong. Even though I checked it very explicitly to make sure I put it in right. Alright. Oh, they're doing it on the other side. They're basically just... Hold on, show that to me again. They're like... even it out. Put it down. Whoops. Hold on. Okay. Now we're going to stitch it down. Okay. On both sides. No, my battery. I forgot to charge the wireless mic. So my battery died. Is what happened. Hopefully I'm back now. Not back. Maybe back. Not back. Can you hear me now? There we go. My battery for the wireless mic died because I forgot to charge it until about 5 minutes before stream started. Because of course that's what happened to me. So, what you all missed there, assumingly, was me talking about how I put the zipper in backwards. Yep, totally did that. Because, you know, of course, I'm gonna clip it to me, but it has the wire attached for the charge. So somehow, don't ask me, despite checking it specifically to be like, is this the right way? I guess, like, alternatively, what I can do is it'll be backwards from what I legitimately just did. It was backwards. The answer was, yes, it was backwards. Because I messed it up. So, if the zipper wasn't backwards, while I did make some mistakes, this would have mostly worked. So, now that you all have audio, what I will show you is the idea of this was supposed to be, so when I say the zipper isn't backwards, it's upside down, is what it is. So I somehow managed to put the zipper in so that when I try to zip close, it is upside down. It is upside down. But the way that this is supposed to work, and I will now show it to you all since you could hear me, correctly, is all of my dimensions are not perfect, so definitely second time around I will cut everything better. But the idea is supposed to be that when it's closed, it's basically this little, cube rectangle thing, where the zipper's on the upper diagonal edge, which you can kind of see here, or is on the, rather than a zipper going down straight down the middle, as you would, hold on. As is the case with the other thing that I made. Hold on, let me move a bunch of this stuff out of the way so I can slide the sewing machine out of the way, and y'all can actually legit see what I'm talking about here. So please hold one moment. So, I mean, the good part is this was scrap fabric, and all I have to do essentially is, honestly, what I'll probably do is I will rip this apart, take the zipper out, because the zipper I can reuse, the fabric I'm less concerned about. So here's the pouch that I showed you all earlier. So it has a traditional, it is technically a rectangle, what have you. So it has the kind of traditional center, zipper, which gives you this where you then have to like actually force it. I don't want to say force it open, but make it open so you can reach things inside. So the idea of this one was that it is a rectangle. But when it sits, let me actually turn it this way. When it is sitting on the side, the zipper will actually end up on one of the corner edges. And what that means is, one, it closes to a smaller, like a little bit more standard, in this case, pencil case-like thing. And then, hold on a second while I have the comedy of unzipping it, because the zipper's in backwards. When you unzip it, then it actually opens up and lays out like a tray. So closed, tray. So closed, rectangle, open tray, and then, if I had done this correctly, the little tab here at the end, you would put a snap on. I would probably do a sew and snap, but there's other ones you could do. That you could then put down here, like on a side, and so when it's closed, it also becomes a loop to hold it. So zipper closes, and now you have a loop, and this would snap on so that it would be easy to pull on and off. So conceptually, this construction was not bad. Except I messed it up. Now, in fairness, I did, besides the fact that I just messed it up, I also did this to myself. So this is the one downside one of the downsides of me choosing to, try to watch the video and do it while on stream. Because I'm doing it on my phone, not on the computer, in an effort for you all not to get the audio playback from the video. Obviously I have a split attention because I'm talking to you all. Not that it still comes down to me screwing it up, but I did not help myself with this one. But if I had a better understanding of what I was doing and didn't have quite so much trouble, I think this would very feasibly be a 2-hour project. Not quite as easy as the vinyl one, since it doesn't have a lining or anything like that, but still, maybe if you count cutting the fabric and everything into it, it would be closer to a 3-hour project. So, before we end for the night, we're going to demolish this right now. Because for at least one portion of mostly because the zipper's worth keeping, the rest of the fabric not so much. So I would rather make an attempt right now to recover the zipper by kind of pulling everything off. Unfortunately, we did do top stitching and some other stuff, so basically this whole nice thing we just put together, we're about to rip it apart. Is what's about to happen. So I have a combination of my smaller scissors where I'm trying to get to the threads without breaking everything. But then I also have the larger scissors because we're just gonna straight up cut some of this out. And luckily this is a long enough zipper here that if I need to cut some of the zipper, I don't really need the tail. I want the zipper end. That's kind of the extent of it. So anyways, everyone, after we just put this whole thing together, we're now going to absolutely ruin it. Now, could I try to deconstruct the whole thing and keep the pieces? Sure. But realistically, this is all scrap fabric that I used anyways. I hate to say it's not worth my time to do, but I'm not going to cry if I lose this fabric. Whereas, relatively speaking, the other thing is now that I've done the construction with some fabric, I kind of have a better idea of what the different panels and things look like. So I can more easily, in my opinion, more easily pick a better selection. The stripes, I feel, the candy cane stripes, were not the best, because since I didn't get the placement, we ended up with the funky looking ends and stuff where our stripes aren't matching, and that's slightly annoying. Does it actually matter? No. Does it annoy me? Yes. Somehow I managed to stitch this side really well compared to the other side. That's the way that I can do this. We'll come back to that. Let's, I feel a little bad that I'm about to take scissors to this whole thing, but you know what? Sometimes that's just how it be. Sorry, project. You tried your best. What'd you do tonight? I sewed a thing, and then I absolutely demolished it because I effed it up. Alright, well, there we go. So here's what we can do. We put all these little bits and pieces can go into the tray. So y'all, this is the real reason why. I would have been better off stitching the liner to the zipper. Because one side I used the double-sided sticky tape. Now there are some double-sided tapes that will either dissolve in wash or dissolve in with heat. So there are additional options. That is not what I bought. I just have regular double-sided sticky, which might come back to bite me. But all we can say is that I did it to myself. There we go. I tried my best. Listen, sometimes, see, here's the thing, is like, without a doubt, there are times where you're like, well, crap. And like, you might have, and like, at the end of this, I might not be able to save the zipper, or the full zipper, because I used, because I used the tape, or because I stitch it too well, not thinking that I had put it in backwards. And the funny thing is relatively early on, didn't, like, I first put it in and was like, did I put this in backwards? And that was the moment when I should have tried to backtrack and fix it. But I thought, no, it's fine. I'm probably not going to completely finish demolishing this tonight, but I at least want to, or I shouldn't say demolishing, but attempting to save the zipper. And honestly, the zipper cost me a couple bucks, but if I save it, I might be able to immediately make a new one. And by immediately, I mean in the next couple days, because now I gotta repick fabric, and then there we go. The right side is, I was using thread here that was not black thread, which means that it is a little bit easier. I was using a white and a red, so a little easier for me to make out and pull it off of a here we go. So it might still have like some remnants, like I might not get all of the thread out. Obviously it'll have the double-sided sticky tape, but we learned a lot from doing this, y'all, which is that I need to pay more attention to the instructions, and I need to check the zipper. I should base the zipper in before I actually sew it all the way in, because guess what? I put it in backwards. Also, I probably should have just picked something else to sew with you all tonight, because clearly I was not prepared to do this. Haha. Alright, so we're gonna do this a little bit more, and then we're gonna call it a night here. I just, mostly now that I've pulled that whole thing out, I can actually see the stitch I did underneath for. Yeah, you can see it here. Alright. Like the double-sided tape will be there, but that's fine. The zipper will still be usable. All of that will still be hidden in the construction when I do it. Or when I make V2. There you go. Obviously there is a ton of thread. I don't actually know if there's a way to, well, I mean, like, I might be able to take something like a Goo Gone, to this, but I don't know that that's really worth doing. So much as just leaving it here and trying again with the second set of, fabric. Maybe that's what we'll do on Wednesday. Everyone, we're gonna try again. But with less fail this time, and I'm gonna, like, watch the video tutorial 18 million times to make sure that I won't mess it up now. There we go. Huzzah! So, it's only 11:30. I do not have any concept of a normal sleep schedule, to be honest to y'all. That's not true. I try to at least be in bed even if I am, like, reading or something by midnight. Yeah, that's why we're just doing this and then we're gonna be done. Or actually, I really just wanted to get that section. I'm less concerned about trying to get this side off because it wasn't taped. I didn't want the fabric to sit on the sticky tape here for, like, overnight. Because I reasonably won't get to it until tomorrow night at the earliest. Okay. Well, we messed it up. But it's fine. We learned something, which is not to put the zipper in the wrong way. So, quick list of reminders. Back here on Wednesday night. Reminder, no Thursday streams this month. Unless class unexpectedly gets canceled for something. So let me switch this over to stream is ending. Hopefully my mic, is still on that. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. I do appreciate you, despite the fact that this did end up not turning out quite the way we wanted, but it's fine. We learned something along the way. And I'm picking better fabric next time. Again, the good part is I have all the materials I need to keep doing this. So we will get to make an attempt number 2. Whether that will be on stream, still TBD. But the opportunity exists. Yes, I will see you on Sunday, Prox. But everyone, thank you so much for hanging out. I do appreciate you keeping me company while I dealt with this less than stellar project snafu, but it's fine. Let's take a quick look. Yes, so yeah, we learned something. It's fine. DJ, yes, I will. That's perfect, because I was like, who's gonna be online? So a couple of things. Let's go quick socials. Quick reminder, those are all the things. I have started very slowly uploading past videos, and eventually I will catch up with my current stream schedule. It might just take me a while. So that I'm uploading the most recent video instead of trying to catch up on all of my previous videos like I've been doing, onto YouTube, but that will be slow going. But I believe the end of Zelda and all of Detective Pikachu is there, and now I've started filling in other things. I promise that Susie will get all of the head pats, and ooh, that's what I forgot. I forgot my captions tonight. Well, that's on me. Thank you so much for that final $50 donation that got us over to our goal. I think the PCRF campaign goal, I think, is wrapping up soon for the team. But in the meantime, those are the socials. Here's our raid call. Please use Susie or any other hi or hello emote that you might have. And then, as mentioned, we will be back here Wednesday night. I don't know what we're doing yet. We might play games. We might sew another one of these. We might sew something completely different. Who knows? But having said all of that, and then real quick, thanks, Leaf, for your streak and your all caps streaking. Thanks to Pirate for the raid and bringing everybody on over. Cypher the gifting DJ as 6 months PC for a 25 stream streak. That's great. As mentioned, Susie will get all of the head pats. So now we are going to raid over to DJ, who's playing Helldivers 2 and is good people. So, as always, everyone, please be safe, be healthy, happy crafting, happy gaming, and I will see you all around the internet. For any of you in the Northeast who are gonna, like me, get hit with the snow tomorrow, hopefully it won't be too bad and everything goes well. So, take care all.